Today I am going to give y'all my predictions for this Sunday's NASCAR Cup Series race at the Nashville Super Speedway. This Sunday's race at Nashville is going to be very exciting for many reasons. One being, in 2021, the NASCAR Cup Series has decided to go to a lot of different venues. They went to Coda, and now they're going to Nashville. And in years past, they have raced in Nashville, but not the Cup Series. The Xfinity Series and the Truck Series have raced an event here in the past. So some drivers have experience and some don't, so it's going to be really challenging to make my predictions. But also, I am going to do a Pick 5 contest for this Sunday's race. And if you're new to the channel and wondering how does a Pick 5 contest work, well, it is pretty simple. All you have to do is go down below to the comment section and type in who you think will finish in the top 5. If you go 5 for 5, you get an autograph of your choice. And just 2 weeks ago, we had a winner. He got a Richard Petty autograph, and I will be sending that out soon. And if you go 4 for 5, you get an unsigned hero card of your choice. So comment down below to be entered, but also go check out JB Race News Reviews, Righteous Redneck, and Winning Bets. But let's get started.
Ryan Priest, and you're watching William Blackwell on YouTube.
Before I give y'all my predictions for this Sunday's NASCAR Cup Series race at the Nashville Super Speedway, I'm going to have to talk about this past weekend's race, the AllStar race, which was held at the Texas Motor Speedway. But if you're new to NASCAR, what an AllStar race is, it is for the drivers that have won a race this year who have won the AllStar race in the years past, and they're racing for $1 million. But before the race, though, there's something called an open, and an open is for the drivers that have yet to reach victory lane in the AllStar race or in this past regular season. And there are going to be 3 drivers winning a segment going to the main event, and there will be 1 fan vote. But the first segment started off with Tyler Reddick and Chris Buescher leading the field to the green flag. Reddick was the pole sitter, but Buescher led the field to the green flag. And in cause of that, he got a penalty and he had to do a stop and go. But luckily, a caution came out for Buescher and the 17 crew for the 23 car Bubba Wallace. But Ross Chastain, who started dead last in the open, came from last to first to win and advance to the main event. And the second segment started, Tyler Reddick ran away with it, but Eric Almirola was right there at the end, giving him a very hard time. Reddick advanced. And the third segment was a tight battle between Eric Almirola and Matt DiBenedetto. Almirola got the nod and won the third segment. And now it was down to the fan vote. You had a wreck early on, taking out Suarez and Jones during the running. You got now Bubba Wallace and DiBenedetto and Chase Briscoe. Those were the top 5, and Briscoe didn't get it. Neither did Bubba Wallace, which was kind of a surprise. But DiBenedetto got the fan vote and raced in the AllStar race. And when the AllStar race started, we saw the Hendrick cars just fast. Kyle Larson, the pole sitter, was just on a whole nother zip code. But he did have a couple challengers early on. Kyle Busch was one, and his teammate William Byron. But they did a lot of inverts here. The AllStar race is a known race for a lot of crazy formats. And when the first segment ended, they did a top 12 invert. So if you were 12, you went to first, which is Ryan Blaney. And Kyle Larson did kind of trash in that second segment, but he won the first one, so all good there. And then after that, they did a full field invert. And that's when we saw Brad Keselowski come into the picture. Keselowski, the first 2 segments was just decent. Wasn't spectacular, but he was just decent. But when they did that full field invert, we saw his car come to life when he got into clean air, and he was a contender. And we also saw Ryan Blaney and Kurt Busch, and Ross Chastain was up there for the time being. But after that, they did another invert. It was for the top 9. And then after that segment ended, they did a deal where they got the points from each round and they lined them off of that. And we saw William Byron, Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, and all of them drivers up front. And then a caution happened and at the wrong time right before the final segment, just a couple laps ago. And Keselowski managed to beat out Chase Elliott on pit road. And there you go. Keselowski was the leader. And he did really good. He held his own on the restart. And then the final segment happened. And that final segment was intense. It was 10 laps going for $1 million. Keselowski gave it all he had, but he finished runner-up to Kyle Larson. And Kyle Larson, I would say this was probably the boldest move in AllStar racing history. He made it three wide on the front stretch, and last time we saw an aggressive move like that in the AllStar race was Kyle Busch back when he won it many years ago. And Kyle Larson brought home a $1 million check. Finishing runner-up to him, or also known as the first loser, is Brad Keselowski. But Brad Keselowski, though, him and his team should hold their heads up high because they brought the fight to Hendrick Motorsports on a mile and a half. I know they got everything trimmed out and going for the short run, but still, you gave Hendrick Motorsports a fight and a run for their money. Finishing third was the 9-car Chase Elliott, which did all right. He was last year's winner in the All-Star race, and finishing fourth was the 22-car of Joey Logano, and rounding out your top five was the 12-car of Ryan Blaney. Team Penske this past weekend did one heck of a job, and all their drivers deserve the Driver of the Week award, which I give out, and this week's Driver of the Week is going to go to the 2-car of Brad Keselowski. Keselowski, like I said early on, was decent, nothing spectacular, but when they did that full view invert, that's when his car came to life, when he got into clean air, and he was a player, and he finished runner-up, one spot short of $1 million, but you know what? That is a good sign for the upcoming races. So Team Penske needs to hold their heads up high. But Kyle Larson won. But now let's get into my Nashville predictions. This Sunday's race at the Nashville Superspeedway is going to be very exciting for many reasons. One being, like I stated earlier in the intro, this is going to be the first time the Cup cars will race on this layout. But also, in years past, though, the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series have raced here. So there's going to be a handful of drivers in this weekend's lineup that have raced here in the past. But there's also going to be a large chunk of drivers that have never raced a single lap here. So it's going to be kind of hard to give y'all like a legit predictions. But earlier this year, they had a test session of all three manufacturers. Kurt Busch was with Chevy, Christopher Bell was with Toyota, and Chase Briscoe was with Ford. And that happened, but also you got to add to the equation, Hendrick Motorsports is just fast, and they're really fast unloading, so Hendrick Motorsports will win. But which driver? It is going to be the 5-car Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson, if I'm not mistaken, has never raced here in the past, and this is going to be the first time he races here, so Kyle Larson will be 1-for-1 at Nashville. Kyle Larson has won Vegas early on this year. He won the Coca-Cola 600. He won Sonoma. Those are all 3 points-paying races, and he won the All-Star race, which is $1 million. But this is going to be his 4th points-paying race of the season and 5th win overall. And if you ask me, that is really, really good for a driver that only raced 4 races in 2020. So Kyle Larson will go to victory lane yet again. But finishing runner-up to him will be his teammate Alex the Showman Bowman. Alex Bowman this year has been really well on the short tracks. Look at Richmond for an example. Denny Hamlin, the hometown boy, was leading, and he had a late race caution. And you saw the 22 restart right beside him. Eric Almirola was up there, and so was Alex Bowman. And Alex Bowman took an aggressive move going into turn 1 and got past the 22 car. And when he did that, his sights were on the 11 car. And before you know it, he passed Hamlin and did not look back, and he got the checkered flag. And then a couple weeks later down the road, he won Dover by beating out his teammate Kyle Larson in the final stage. And that was not given to him. So Alex Bowman is going to be fast any short track you go to in the Cup Series. But this weekend at Nashville, he will do good and finish runner-up to Kyle Larson yet again. But finishing third, in my opinion, will be the 12-car Ryan Blaney. Team Penske this past weekend at the All-Star race did really well, and Blaney caught my attention. Ryan Blaney is a really good short track racer, and Nashville, I know it's a mile track, but it does race like a short track, and Blaney will is someone to keep your eye on, and I think he will bring it home in P3. But finishing fourth would be the 9-car Chase Elliott, your defending champ. I think he's going to do really well. I think he will win one stage, but I'm not saying he's going to win the race. I think he will bring it home fourth. But rounding out your top 5, this will be kind of a upset here. And I'm saying it is going to be the 4-car of Kevin Harvick. This is going to be lengthy here. But Stewart-Haas Racing in this year have been off the pace. Let's start off with Eric Almirola. He started up front in the Daytona 500. And next thing you know, on lap 13, the big one happened. And it took him out the race. And since then has been all downhill. He had one bright peak at Richmond, but it's been all downhill. He's low in the high 20s in points and just not looking too good. Cole Custer, on the other hand, he won at Kentucky last year. He made the playoffs. Good for him. But this season rolls around, just not his season. And Chase Briscoe, I got to admit, he's a rookie. So I'll let it slide. But he's outdoing 2 of his teammates. So that's a positive to take out of it. But he's still in the lower 20s in the point standings, which is not cutting it for a Stewart-Haas driver. But he does have a top 10 finish, which came at Coda P6 just over a month ago. So there you go there. But Kevin Harvick, all the way up there inside the top 10, has been on and off. And I think the ceiling for Harvick, just the way he's been in speed-wise these last couple of weeks, the ceiling for Harvick is around P7, P8. Not that high up and just crazy. And I would imagine Stewart-Haas Racing will start turning their attention to the next gen car for next year at some point in time. If Briscoe and Custer and Almirola do not make the playoffs, I think there'll be a good chance that they're going to put all their focus on the next gen car. I know Harvick will be in the playoffs more than likely, but if you can't win a race, as Rodney Childress says, you do not belong in the playoffs. So simple as that, and I would expect for them to be eliminated early on. But Harvick, in my opinion, will bring it home P5, and it will be a big upset if this were to happen. But who knows? It is 2021. Anything can happen. But my dark horse for this weekend is going to be the 43 car of Eric Jones. And what I mean by dark horse, this is not a driver that is going to go out the weekend and put on a performance and win the race. What a dark horse is, in my opinion, is a driver that will give the winner a run for their money, but he will also bring it home inside the top 10. And I think Eric Jones is really good on short tracks, and he will bring the Richard Petty Motorsports car home inside the top 10. But there you go. There's my top 5 for this Sunday's race at the Nashville Raceway. Winning will be Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman, Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, and Kevin Happy Harvick. And my dark horse will be Eric Jones. But everybody, though, remember to please like and subscribe and comment down below your top 5 to be entered in this Sunday's Pick 5 contest. And who knows, you might win a prize. But also go check out in the description below JB Racing News Reviews, Righteous Redneck, and Winning Bets. They got some great content, so go check them out. Peace.